India has a solid fifth-generation fighter jet program. But even with that, it's also trying to buy a fifth-gen fighter from abroad. Is that a smart move? What jet is India looking to buy? How many? And ultimately, what's the right choice for India? We're going to answer all of that, so sit tight. India is working on one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world, the AMCA. If you haven't seen our video on it, check the link below. But despite having this project, India is still looking to purchase around 120 fifth-generation fighters. There are currently two main contenders under evaluation, the F-35 and the Su-57. Each comes with its own advantages and challenges. But the billion-dollar question is, which of these is truly more beneficial for India's defense industry and gives the Indian Air Force more real power? Before we can answer that, we need to break down the pros and cons of each jet. The F-35 is currently the most advanced operational fighter jet in the world. It has the best engine in its class, producing 43,000 pounds of thrust, and it's equipped with the most advanced radar ever installed on a fighter. It will also receive many future upgrades, including something especially interesting, the integration of the Meteor missile into its internal weapons bay. Yes, the same Meteor missile, with a range of 150 kilometers that was used by the Rafale fighter jet during Operation Sandor. But here's the problem. India already has its own missile, the Astra, with a range of 180 kilometers, and India is planning to unveil a new variant with a range of 340 kilometers in the near future. Now comes the bad news. The United States doesn't give foreign countries access to the F-35 source code. That means India won't be able to integrate its own Astra, BrahMos, or any Indian-made weapons into the F-35. This is a huge drawback, especially since India has invested so much into developing some of the best missiles in the world. But that's not all. There's an even bigger issue. India wants to build these jets domestically. While the US might agree to let India assemble imported parts, like the engine, radar, and avionics, it would be more like putting together a Lego set than building a real fighter from scratch. The US is highly unlikely to allow India to manufacture those critical parts independently. And that's exactly why India is also considering the Russian Su-57. The Su-57 is a super maneuverable fifth-generation fighter with advanced avionics. Its engine delivers 34,000 pounds of thrust, which is 10,000 less than the F-35. But since the Su-57 has two engines, it achieves a top speed of Mach 2 compared to the F-35's Mach 1.6. And that's not its only advantage. The Su-57 has a combat range of over 2,000 kilometers, almost double the F-35's. However, the Su-57 is not as stealthy as American or even Chinese stealth fighters. And there's another problem. The Su-57 program is progressing very slowly. Today, only a small number of Su-57s are actually in service with the Russian Air Force. But India could change that. With the right investment, India could help accelerate the program and even gain more control over its development. Still, there's a final issue: reliability. Russia, like the US, has a history of being unpredictable. India needs to remember the lessons from the Su-30 MKI experience, where expectations didn't always match reality. If India negotiates with Russia, it must be fully aware of the risks. So what's really best for India? Which fighter makes more sense for the Indian Air Force? In my opinion, India should focus 100% on its own fifth-generation fighter, the AMCA. But right now, India is struggling with engine development and key subsystems. The US is unlikely to share that technology. However, Russia's financial situation, worsened by international sanctions, creates a unique opportunity. Russia is desperate, and that gives India leverage. If India plays it smart, it can negotiate a deal with Russia for technology transfer, including the Su-57 source code and jet engine tech, the second most powerful engines in the world. Just like India did with the Su-30 MKI, it could customize the Su-57 by integrating its own weapons and systems. The Su-57 could be the better choice for India, but only if used strategically, not as a long-term dependency. If you enjoyed this intel drop, lock your missiles on that like button. We're out here dogfighting the algorithm, and every like, sub, and share is another missile in our arsenal. Our content isn't stealthy, so don't hold back. Smash that like button so the algorithm sees us coming. Subscribe to Caspian Insight and help us fly even higher. Your support is the real afterburner here.